Welcome back, beautiful Mystic Tribe. So, I made a video yesterday after my day, and when I looked at it this morning, it was not in sync, and the video was actually really crappy with the lighting. So, I took it down. So, I didn't censor what I said, but I'm going to censor the whole video because it's not quality, it's not a good quality. So basically, yesterday, my best friend here finally got her driver's license, and not because she can't drive, and not because she's not smart, and not because it's just so different here. And I'm not going to go into the details because it's actually really ridiculous. So just we're just going to say that she finally got her driver's license, and that was like a big win for her and for me, because it was like, yay, you finally did it, woohoo. Because being the supportive friend that I am, and the sending out the energy and sending out all my angels and saying, guys, she needs to get her driver's license, and I'm still working on mine. So that's just to tell you. Ah. So anyways, that was a big win, and so we decided to go to the beach and to Progreso with two of our friends that are here from Playa del Carmen. And so we left around 12ish or something, and we went down there. We had lunch. We had a delicious lunch. I wish I could pronounce the name of the restaurant. I can't. I whatever. We ate seafood, ceviche. It was absolutely really, really good. Then we walked down. We walked down the beach, and we went swimming, and we chatted on the beach. And I went to meet a client. It was this. This is how the universe works for me. The serendipity thing is just like wild in my life. Um, the day before, I answered an ad. Somebody was looking for a translator, a French Canadian translator for something, and I replied and I said, "Oh, anyway." So um, he replied to me, and I said, "Well, I can't today because I'm in Progreso, but when I get back home, if you want to send me whatever." And he says, "Oh, well, come say hi. I'm in Progreso." And he says, "I'm on 72, and like, because I'm on 72 and 59A." And and I had just spoken to my friend saying, "Hey, the band that we saw 2 weeks ago is playing near your house on 74 and 59A." And I'm like, what are the odds that two completely different things are on the same street? 59A. Like, are you kidding me? Right? So I decided to go see the guy and go talk to him in person. And it was like the instant click. It was like, felt like we knew each other forever. We were just speaking like, yeah, nah, there was like, it was like this amazing serendipity. That's how I call it, because it's so out of the blue and so, it's wild. I love it. I just love it. I love these things. And so we went back to the beach, and then we decided to go a little further down the to another little town close, because here in the Yucatan there was I'm going to say an asteroid that collapsed, that fell, made some rocks, made some holes, and created thousands of cenotes, which are freshwater caves that you could go swim in here in the Yucatan. And the epicenter was like a little town further down from where we were. So we drove over there, and then we were driving back. And then one of our friends is a Tesla geek, and really into Tesla. And there's a Tesla dealership in Merida. So we're going to go drive there, and then go see the band, and have dinner and go see the band and everything. And then this is what happens with a highly sensitive person. And I remember so many times, and my friends will remember also. And if you guys are hearing this, please comment, because this is like the one thing that I was somewhere, there was a party, or we were in gathering, or I'm at somebody's house, and then all of a sudden, she's gone. Where did you go last night? I was gone. Like, it was like that instant moment where I'm sitting there and everything's happening, and then I get an overload of sensory overload, and I just leap out, just get up and leave, and you can't hold me back. I'm leaving. I'm gone. I just can't do this anymore. And that's what happened yesterday. was sitting in the car, and as much as I wanted to celebrate with her the win of having a driver's license, um, that was it. I was done. I was done with the peopling. Like, I was in the restaurant, I saw this guy, I was with tons of people at the beach. There was a lot of activities, there was a lot of noise, there was a lot of, and then all of a sudden it was just like, yeah. And then I'm like, I'm sorry, girl, I can't do this. I'm going home. And then, just because one sense was triggered, was my overload, sensory overload emotionally. Then it triggered. I was cold in the car. Nobody else was cold. I was cold in the car because I'm highly sensitive, and I needed to put something on me, and I was not comfortable. And then we went to the dealership, and I couldn't go in because as soon as they opened the door, the air conditioning just blasted me. And I was like, no, I'm going to stay out here. I'm going to sit this one out. Um, and then I just wanted to come home. I just wanted to come home. And so many times this happened in my life, and I thought it was crazy. I thought, like, I mean, there's only me that does stupid things like that, right? No, no, I found out that I'm not alone. It's so freaking crazy to find out that people understand that. Just that little one is not, I mean, it's not a big thing for, if you're not a highly sensitive person and you're listening to this, like, what is she talking about? That, yeah, it's whatever. But for me, it was like, wow, finally somebody understands. Um, and I do that, and I still do that all the time. I didn't know that it was when I was doing that, when I was leaving, on a split second, I didn't know it was because I was a highly sensitive person. I just knew I had to leave. Sometimes I'm in a mall, sometimes I'm at the grocery store, and then I'm doing my groceries, and all of a sudden it kicks in, and I'm out. Whatever I need to do at that very moment is not important enough for me to to feel crappy. I leave. I'll come back another day. I know that I don't go, well, I try not to go to the store on the busiest time of the day. You know, I choose the time that I go to the store. I, so, um, yeah, so she dropped me home, and I was fine. And then, I did what I needed to do, took a shower, and ate some guacamole. And then I sat down and did my video. And then I crashed. Like, my body was done. Like, it just becomes, um, wow. There was a hummingbird in my window. I want to cry. This is a highly sensitive person. It was so cute. Oh my god. Oh, it did it on purpose, I'm sure. So, like, let's show them. He was so cute. Oh. Anyways, so back to my story. Am I really doing this? Yeah, I am. Okay. So yeah, so that was it for yesterday. It was like, today I notice, and today I respect my boundaries. Like, there's nothing more important than me. Like, I can't, if I don't respect those boundaries, it's consequences I'm not ready to deal with anymore. As I was saying in my other video, if I make the same mistakes and expect it's going to be different results, it's not going to be different results. You know, it's it's doing if I do it anyway, that's insanity. That's insanity. I know what the results are going to be. I know if I would have pushed myself yesterday and did everything we wanted to do, go out for dinner again, and go out to see the band, and I was starting to have a headache, it would have been a miserable day today for me. It would have been a miserable day for today. Like, I would have, like, felt so bad. But I got up this morning and it was fine. So, and that's my win. That's my win, because when I'm capable of listening to myself, and respecting those boundaries and respecting my bodies, because it's physically, one sense gets triggered, and then the other ones gets triggered, and then, you know, like yesterday it was my feeling, and then it was my ears. It was like I'm hearing tons of like it's just like everything was so loud. The car, there was this little noise here, and I'm like, I want to go home. so so that was my day yesterday, but I loved my time with my friends. It was really, really nice. We had beautiful conversations. I spoke with Dave about music, and oh, I have to go see these two radio stations that I'm probably gonna love very much. So yeah, so that was my story from yesterday. So to continue on the path of when I went to school. So obviously, being a highly sensitive person, being a highly sensitive kid, when I started being bullied, I shut down. So there's a lot of things I don't remember. So it goes to trying to drink some water at because they have these long things with those little water things, and then you would lean over to drink water, and somebody would come in the back and just put my face in the water, and to stealing my pens or whatever it was, you know. I was being bullied because I didn't speak French properly, because I had an English accent, and because of ancestral burdens, or I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but because there's been generation from generation on generation that that's been portrayed generate just down, like just from generation to generation. They don't know better. I mean, I can't blame the kids. It's that they've been taught by their parents, and their parents were taught by their parents, and I know I broke that one with my son. I mean, there was no way he was not going to speak English. And and understand that we are all one. We are all human beings, and we all have the right to be wherever we are in our lives and speak whatever language we want to speak. Um, so I did shut down a lot those years. Um, I remember crying a lot, and at night, not understanding why I didn't fit in, not understanding why I was being rejected. Not. I had my one friend. Maybe I had. Well, I had my one friend that lived next door, and then I had a brother and sister a little further down the street that were my friends, and that was about it. Like there was no way I was not a social butterfly because I was not being accepted by most people, by most kids. So I remember those people. I remember music was my life. My dad had brought me a record player, and he would buy me records and bring records, and I would sit in my room and listen to music and feel my emotions through music, and that was everything. Um, and I'm gonna find it. And there's two songs that came up when I was listening at those times. When I was thinking about those times, and reliving a little bit of what was going on. And one of them is called Ben. I can't remember the name of the artist. It's a really sad song, and the other ones are not. I think the other one is the saddest song of all times and any time to this day. It's like every time that like I'm gonna find it and put it in the playlist, but I know that I just think about it and I want to cry. And it's Seasons in the Sun, and I just like I this is the saddest song ever. And those were my two songs. I was like, that's how I felt. And I was living my emotion. I was living my emotion through those two songs. Ben is about a best friend. I think it was a bear, but I can't remember. I would have to look at the lyrics again. Um, and the other one is about losing somebody. So maybe I felt I was losing myself when I was a kid. And funny enough, those times, I remember the rockabilly. Like, Um, oh, it's hard to. It's. I mean, there was this one TV show, and it's like I think it was a little bit before Grease. Okay, let's not talk about Greece right now because I'm not ready. That's another story. But yeah, so those first couple of years of school, the first 3 years I was in one school, and then the district divided something, and because where I was living, I had to go to another school. And all I remember of that other school was I was going. Then I was dropped off in the morning and having lunch and being babysat by another place close to the school where there was two twins that were not nice with me. Um, and but I remember that school. It was a round school. It was so weird. Like the library was in the middle, and all the classrooms were around, and were round, and then somewhere around here there was the cafeteria or something. But it was a round school. Anyways, I remember that. And so I went to 2 years in that school, and I remember being bullied again. And I remember this one chick who actually physically aggressed me, physically pushed me um, off the sidewalk. And I think I broke my big toe or broke a toe or something. I can't remember. I remember her name also. And it's funny because I remember her name. And lately, um, I was in a crystal shop and I was smelling the incense. And there are not a lot of incense I can smell because some of them are really, really too strong for me. And the one that I really liked was jasmine. And the name of this girl was Jasmine. Unrelated until it connects. So weird. So the place that we were being babysat at was there was a brother also there. He was really nice though. He was not bullying me. He wasn't protecting me, but he was not engaging in bullying me. He taught me a lot of sports, a lot of tennis on the wall and whatever, and balls, and I can't remember. So like I say, because it was emotionally very difficult for me. Um, Somewhere down the line, my brain shut that down because um, when there's a sensory overload, the nerve, our central nervous system goes into flight, fight, or freeze mode. And now today, I have a I have a tool for that, But then I didn't know what it was, so it was one of the three that would happen, And most of the time was I would freeze. Um, yeah, I would freeze because I didn't understand. I didn't like to this day when I see people being mean to other people. I don't understand, and it hurts. It hurts. It's just this thing that I can't wrap my head around. So not even talk about war here because that's beyond what I can actually imagine. So yeah, and then so that would end up my elementary school, my elementary school years, and then I will start with my secondary school, I guess, when in the next video. Um, and yeah, that's a whole nother ball game. But in between that, there's all these years trying to fit in, trying to not make too much wave, not. Um, I was never being able to be a mean person. and I would get angry, but my anger, I would take it out on me most of the time. Um, and I was able to process it with music, like with all these songs. If I would put Seasons in the Sun, I would cry it out and I would just let it out. So I learned that very young, to be able to let that out, because I would have been horrible, like horrible. And so those years, what would happen is during the summer, so I would go to French school during the year, and then during the summer, I would go stay with my aunt for the two months of summer, and then I would be emerge again into English, and then I would come back the next year. So it was this rolling cycle, which was like, it was just a non-ending freaking cycle. Yeah. And I learned to live with it eventually. I learned to, like, okay, this is my life, like this is it, like I'm going to come back this year with my English accent, because then I had my friends, my cousin, and we were all speaking English during the summer, and then I would come back to school and go to French school. And so it was an ongoing thing. It didn't stop until I stopped going to my aunt's. That's in summertime, go spend the summers over there. So yeah, interesting to see, to look back at that. It's and maybe other songs will show up, will come up while I'm researching these ones. But hmm. I'm happy to be able to do this, because it's going to help me see, like, to really process everything and be able to share it. Makes it real, and makes and I know I'm not alone. I know I'm not crazy, and I know I'm not too much. This is actually real, and it's not in my imagination, and I'm not crazy, and I'm not sick, and it's not a disease, and it's not a disorder. It's a beautiful gift today. So I hope you have a beautiful evening, and wherever you are, good morning, beautiful day, beautiful evening, wherever you are in the world. And as always, in love, Mystic Danny. See you next time.